today we'll study about the affinities of Prototheria, that is their resemblances to other group of organisms. So, considering their most of the characters, the Prototheria resembles Sauropsida, that is reptiles and birds. But they show a little advance over them, and thus they come more nearer to their mammalian relatives. So, starting with the reptilian affinity, that is their resemblances with reptilia group, there is no definite connecting link known between them, but there are some enough evidences which shows that mammals had some reptilian ancestry. And we can following we will discuss some of their reptilian affinities, starting with the presence of cloaca. So in both the groups we can see the presence of cloaca and the skull with large pterygoids and epipterygoids. Also they possess ring like tympanic bones, but this is present without allophenoids and tympanic bullae. Vertebrae are present, but they are without epiphysis and with cervical ribs in both the groups, and the thoracic ribs are single-headed. Both these group can withstand starvation for a longer period of time, and also in both the groups the body temperature is not constant. Ureters lead into urogenital sinus, and testes are abdominal in both the cases. Penis is a simple retractile groove conducting only in sperms, and oviducts separately open into cloaca and without uterus and vagina. Females in both the cases are oviparous, and in both the cases we do not see uterine gestation. Eggs are large cleidoic, that is, eggs are with leathery shell in both the cases. So these were some of the reptilian affinity. Now moving towards their avian affinity, that is their relationship with the birds. So the relationship of prototherians with birds do not have very strong concrete solid facts, but some of the similar characters can be seen in Theria are chiefly due to the fact that they both possesses some common reptilian ancestry, that is both the avian and prototherians possesses reptilian ancestry. So some important points of resemblances are: first one is the shape of beak of platypus, which resembles the shape of beaks of birds. Also the teeth in both the cases are absent, and you can see the webbed feet in both the cases, and oil glands are also present in both the cases, and the presence of obliterated sutures of skull in both the cases. So these were few avian affinities shown by the prototherians. Now moving towards the mammalian affinities, that is their resemblance with mammals. So the prototherians are essentially mammals as they possess typical mammalian characters, and these characters are: firstly, you can see in both the cases the body is covered by the hairs and pinnae are present, and skin is richly glandular, that is they contain sweat and sebaceous glands. A typical mammalian diaphragm divides the body cavity in prototherians, and the skull is dicondylic. The cervical vertebrae are typically 7, and sternum is segmented. Heart, we can see in prototherians, are 4 chambered as in mammals, and only left aortic arc is present. The RBCs in them are small, circular, and non-nucleated, which is a typical mammalian character. And there is the 4 optic lobes are present, and we can also see the presence of milk glands that secretes milk in prototherians, which is again a typical mammalian character. So some of the peculiar characters of prototherians which makes them different are the presence of tarsal spurs in males, and also the milk glands in them are derived from the sweat glands and not from the sebaceous like that in other mammals, and are also without teats. The temporary abdominal mammalian pouch in female during the breeding season can be seen. And also in them the teeth are replaced by horny plates in the case of adults, and jaws are elongated and forms the beak or rostrum. The marsupial or epipubic bones can be seen in them, and they are imperfectly warm-blooded with the body temperature varying from 25 degrees Celsius to 28 degrees Celsius. And in them we can see that right ovary is somewhat smaller and usually it is functionless. So these are some of the features which are peculiar to the Prototheria group. Now coming upon to the conclusion, seeing their peculiar characters and their peculiar blending of mixing of reptilian and mammalian characters, it suggests that this is an intermediate stage between the two groups, as they possesses primitive, degenerate and highly specialized characters, which indicates that they represent an early separate sideline from the main mammalian stock, which justify their placement in a different subclass Prototheria from rest other mammals, which are placed under the subclass Theria. Monotremes shows that reptile, birds and mammals together forms a natural group, more homogeneous than the group Ichthyopsida, which is of fishes plus amphibians, or even the superclass Pisces.